how is it justified? Is it justified by racism or something religious, or how is this justified in the cultural, deep, ancient mind of the people who did all of these actions? I really want to understand.
Okay, so the idea of white supremacy has a really fascinating origin. It actually starts in Spain. So the Reconquista, which is a poorly named event, the Reconquest, how can you reconquer something when you never owned it to begin with? So the idea is that the northern Christian kingdoms in the Iberian Peninsula are going to conquer from the Muslims the rest of the Iberian Peninsula, and then eventually Portugal and Spain are created out of that. And they called it the Reconquista as if they had owned it at one point. But they didn't. This is a different people now, because the population of people that the Arabs conquered when they conquered the Iberian Peninsula, it was German-ruled Iberia. It was Visigoths that were ruling it. And before them, the Vandals had ruled the south. That's where Andalusia comes from, because there's no va in Arabic. They just dropped the sound. And then before that, it was the Roman Empire. And in other words, this idea of Spain was really created in 1492 by Queen Isabella. Right? She's the person who creates Spain. The Roman province was called Hispania, and that's where España, the name, comes from.
Makes sense.
But Isabella, the Queen of Castile and Leon, is the person who created Spain. She said, there will be a Spain, and boom, there it was. She was that powerful.
She was that powerful.
She really was. She was an absolute monarch who was a visionary and literally created a country and changed the way the world thought about that place. And in the process created an empire that spanned, they owned the Philippines, they owned North and South America. And then eventually she had married so heavily into the Holy Roman Empire that they owned Germany and Italy and Portugal. I mean, they had colonies in Africa and India. You're like, how did you do this?
Yes, Isabella needs to teach us how she did all that.
Yeah, she was really cruel. There was a lot of violence and plundering.
So how does this get tied up to the white supremacy?
So human beings love hierarchies. We want there to be somebody on top and somebody on bottom. It is just our nature. I didn't used to believe this. I have come to this conclusion that this is just how we are.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Whether we like it or not.
It makes it easier for many people to live.
Exactly.
Right?
There's a population of people who they just follow and they're happy to follow.
Yeah.
And they know their place in society and they're good to go.
Yeah.
And then, there's that cantankerous group of people who are always in rebellion no matter what's going on. Like everything is great and they're still mad.
Yeah, because there are fewer leaders and more followers just in general, just to make life easier.
Yeah.
Because, again,
it does.
You need more followers. Like, I think there should be more followers, but they should be a little bit more conscious, just a little bit more.
Yeah, and a little bit more informed.
Because I think if everyone were naturally just wanting to lead, there won't be any group work with there.
No, it would be a disaster.
Yeah, so I agree with you. It's just sometimes things don't happen the way we like, and just catastrophes happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me more.
So the Christian kingdoms in the north, I'm saying it this way because the population in the south is just as Spanish as the population in the north. The way we talk about it is that the Spaniards conquered the Muslims. The Muslims in the south, first of all, it was Muslim-ruled south. The majority of the population in the south was still Christian because the Muslims didn't convert by the sword. So when they conquered the Iberian Peninsula, it was a majority Christian place. Egypt was a majority Christian place until 600-700 years ago because there was no compulsion to convert. The Crusades encouraged a lot of people to convert just because they were like, I don't know if I want to be associated with those guys anymore. But, Egypt is still somewhere between 10 to 20% Christian. We don't know because the government won't do a census. I bet it's closer to 20%. The government says it's 10, so it's 20.
Okay.
We all know how this works. And so what you had in the South was Muslim-ruled Christian, Jewish, and Muslim population that spoke a language that was a hybrid of Arabic and Latin. And by the way, there was some German mixed in it and some Celtic mixed in it, but it was primarily Latin and Arabic. And they also, obviously did things in Fusha, but locally they spoke this hybrid language. In the north, they spoke the same hybrid language. The difference between the north and the south was rich, the south was technologically advanced, the north was technologically backwards, the north was poor. The north was Christian fundamentalists who wanted to kill off or expel the entire Jewish and Muslim population.
Why?
That was their goal, their expressed goal. I don't know why. I mean, when you think about it, why would you get rid of your smartest, best educated, and richest segment of your population? That makes no sense. Yeah. Conquer them and then tolerate them.
And have them work for you.
And have them work for you. But they wanted to conquer and then expel or forcibly convert or murder. And they systematically did it. It took them, 6 centuries, 7 centuries to pull this off, but they ultimately do it. But in the process, somebody sat down and went, who here is purer Christian than the next person? And they were like, I don't know how to tell that. It's not like they had, genealogy traced back for 700 years. And so what they came up with was Arabs are darker. So if you're darker skinned, you have more Jewish and Muslim ancestors. If you're lighter skinned, you have more Christian ancestors.
No way.
And that's where the whole whiteness conversation came from.
Wow. Such a stupid place to come from.
Yeah.
Such a stupid place.
And
all of these problems today and today's problems all came from this specific gathering where people said, how are we going to differentiate between Christians, Jews, and Arabs and Muslims?
No, but it's worse than that. How are we going to differentiate between the different Christians? Because they want to say that Christian has pure Christian ancestry, that Christian has more Jews and Muslims in their ancestry. This is a thing, Christian versus Christian. This is why this is crazy.
Oh, so there are layers to it now.
Yeah.
I just realized. Yeah. Okay. So there's a layer. So they wanted to differentiate who's more Christian. Yeah. Yeah. Now I see it. And based on that, they will get things in return. As in, so why did they want to differentiate it in the
status?
Just status.
Yeah. I'm pure Christian. I deserve more.
More position.
And, a better position. And so this whiteness thing kicked in, and it began to really matter in Spain, and little by little it spread across Europe. And eventually it got mingled with slave trade and genocide of the Americas, and then the next thing you know, they're building empires. And
so the whiter you are, the more Christian you are. That
was the original process.
So did there are a lot of black community Christians and brown Christians and people who lived in America and lived with those white supremacists eventually? So that was so the white supremacy carried, because if you sit with anyone now who is racist, he wouldn't know where this comes from. He wouldn't be able to tell you what you just told me, right?
Yeah.
He wouldn't tell me that I'm purer. He wouldn't say that, right?
No.
So it's weird how the human biology works, is that it's still there.
It's still there. I mean, Jesus is frequently portrayed as a blue-eyed blonde, or at least a light brown-haired guy who looks like he's from Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all know he was brown. He was definitely, if he's going to be from this part of the region, he's not going to be white.
Okay, so here's a twist on twists. I think the year is 1907. Don't quote me on the year. It was somewhere between 1901 and 1909. There was a person who is Christian Arab from the Ottoman Empire living in the United States. He was from what is today Lebanon. So people regularly call him Lebanese, but Lebanon existed as a province within the Ottoman Empire. So it's not completely wrong to say it. He was a security guard living in California. He'd been in the United States for decades, and he wanted his U.S. citizenship. But until 1952, if you were born in Asia, you were not allowed to ever become a U.S. citizen under any circumstances.
Because of the World War? Or?
No, that was part of our racism. Up until 1960s, we thought there were 3 races in the world: white, black, Asian.
Okay, I see.
And so we divided the world up into those pieces. After the American Civil War, we made it very clear that if you were black or white, you could be a U.S. citizen. If you were Asian, you could never be a U.S. citizen.
Asian meaning Korean, Chinese, or is it just down-
Anywhere in Asia.
Anywhere in Asia?
Anywhere in Asia.
Oh, literally Asian.
Literally Asia.
Okay.
So this poor Lebanese guy couldn't become a U.S. citizen because Lebanon's in Asia.
Exactly.
So he sued.
Poor guy.
He's like, what? This isn't fair. And so you could be an Asian and be a U.S. citizen if you were born in the U.S. because the U.S. has that. If you're born in the U.S., you are a citizen automatically rule. Yeah. So the Japanese Americans who were U.S. citizens who were interned during World War II were of Japanese descent born in the U.S. So they were natural born U.S. citizens. They were literally eligible to be president.
Okay.
But anyway, so this Lebanese guy sues and the court case unfolds and he knows he's finished and he's going to lose. But so he raises his hand and the judge calls on him and he says, I'd like to ask the court one more question before you rule on the case. And the judge goes, oh, okay, go ahead. And he goes, what was Jesus? And the judge goes, white. And the Lebanese guy goes, I'm from where Jesus is from. And the judge pounds his gavel on the bench and says, white. You are eligible to be a U.S. citizen. And that's how the guy won his citizenship. So, according to U.S. race law, if you are Arab, Persian, Turk, or Jewish, you are white.
So I'm white.
You're white.
Well,
Mabruk.
thank you. I can rule the world.
If you're black from Mauritania or the Sudan, you're white because you're Arab.
Okay, so just no. They've dug themselves in a big hole now. It's just this doesn't make sense anymore.
No.
Because we know colors.